Hi, friends. Grace Rizza here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I am just popping on to share with you some of the marketing must haves for dentists that I see. And today, I'm going to give you a quick way to evaluate what you already have going on, how it's working, and to give you kind of a quick roadmap of where to start, especially if you're looking to attract a very specific type of patient, whether that's a fee for service patient, you're looking to exit participation with certain benefit programs, plans, networks, insurances. Um, I'm going to kind of break down the different components of an effective marketing campaign today and very briefly give you some things to ponder that you can quickly apply to your business moving forward starting today. So, the first piece of advice I have for you is to know your brand. Know who you are, what you stand for, and be very confident in that. A lot of times when I consult dentists on their marketing programs and plans, the first thing I ask is, what is your unique selling proposition? And how do you want to be known in your community? So when your name comes up in conversation, what do you want people to be saying about you, about your team? Or I reposition that as, what are people already saying about you and your team? What is the reason that your patients refer their families and friends? What's the main reason why your patients have no problem writing a 5-star review for you on Google? And if you haven't really stopped to think about the answer to that question, give yourself just 5 or 10 minutes to ponder that today. Make sure you have total clarity on your one unique selling proposition. It sounds fluffy, it sounds like it doesn't matter, but if you skip this step, your marketing becomes messy, inconsistent, hard to remember, and you kind of can fall victim, for lack of a better word, of your brand running you instead of you really choosing intentionally how you want your brand to be perceived. So when you're thinking about branding, when you're thinking about building your brand, just think, my brand is my intended reputation. And everything that I do, whether it's marketing or just how I treat people, it's either going to reinforce that intended brand or it's going to take away from that intended brand that I've created. And so once you've defined it and your team is aware of that intended reputation that you're building, then it becomes easy to make decisions on a day to day basis. How will we handle this patient who has this concern or this problem? And how will we handle this other situation based on how we want to be known in our community? So, decision making becomes a lot easier when you have clarity around who you are. Next, does your branding or your marketing materials support your brand? So, do you have a very old logo? Maybe it's 8, 10, 15, 20 years old, and design trends change. And so just like you maybe don't have the same wardrobe that you had 10 years ago, your logo needs to evolve, your branding needs to evolve. If it doesn't, in dentistry, it's not really ideal to be perceived as like classic or traditional. I mean, traditional, sure, maybe traditional values. But in dentistry, the patient is going to perceive you in one of two ways. They're either going to perceive you as dated, old, or they're going to perceive you as modern and new. And in dentistry, when we perceive old things, we think of pain, we think of a lack of technology, we think of potentially a poor patient experience. And so we really want to default to being known as modern. And when people see or encounter a really old logo, old fonts, um, things that they don't resonate with as modern on a subconscious level, they're less likely to choose you, or they're less likely to want to spend top dollar at your practice because they may perceive you, like I said, as out of date or using old methods. So make sure your branding is out there saying nice things about you. Different colors also have different meaning. So blue is the color of connection and relationship and trust, whereas green is a great color for health and wellness. Purple is a great color if you're wanting to build a brand where you treat the patient like royalty. Yellow and orange are fun accent colors if you're wanting to create a really lighthearted, uplifting, or fun environment for your patients. So it's important that you know who you are before you start that marketing process. Um, Really super complicated logos tend to get lost. It's much harder to um, put them on scrubs or have swag or things that you want to give out or even signage. A lot of people overthink the branding process and they try to literally explain who they are and what they do in a graphic. So you'll see smiley faces and you'll see teeth and you'll see the toothbrush, and you don't need to be so literal with your branding. Look at and study some high level brands and what's behind them, and you'll start to really gain an appreciation for simplicity when it comes to your brand. Okay, the last thing is when you're naming your practice, try to avoid unique spelling of words. It might seem cute or clever to start, but it's going to get a little bit annoying every time you answer the phones, having to explain, oh no, it's dentistry, but spelled differently. Or, oh no, it's this clever way of spelling kids with a Z. You may not want to have to always say with a Z or lose business to people that are searching for your name by its typical spelling. So be careful with making up words and misspelling words for the sake of being unique. Does your website do the following? It's got people, for lack of a better word, three people that we need to impress. First is Google. Does your website impress Google? Are you ranking top three? Does it load quickly? Is it brand enhancing? Is it custom designed? Does it have keyword integration in the right places? This is hard for someone to evaluate if they're not very, very, very well trained in marketing and website development. But a couple quick things you can do: make sure that your site doesn't utilize a builder or a paid or proprietary platform. When we're operating this way, we're actually creating obstacles and barriers for Google bots to crawl what our website is really about. And remember, Google's job is to serve up the most relevant search results. And so if we've got all these layers of code and this unnecessary I'll say padding in the website, then Google's not going to really like your site. So going back to the 1, 2, 3, the first person we need to impress is Google. And if your website doesn't do that, you could be investing for a very, very long time in things like SEO services or Google Ads with fewer results. So it's important that your foundation is very, very, very strong. And sorry, I kind of misspoke. Google Ads can actually still get you a result even if your website isn't ideal. But having the ideal setup is obviously going to help you in so many different aspects: load speed, conversion rate, everything. Okay, reviews online. Do you have a good number of Google reviews? Make sure you have a review generation strategy happening with your team. I would say it's 2022 right now. 5 years ago, people were really excited about getting Google reviews, and those who implemented this early on have sometimes thousands now. If you're just getting into this now or you're just opening your practice now, be aggressive with this review generation strategy. Your patients are okay with it. They are used to Google now. They're used to online reviews. They know how it works. So first, obviously, try to think of something that's going to give them a wonderful experience. Whether you just spend a couple extra minutes saying hello to them, getting to know your patient, listening to why they came in today, or you offer them a cold beverage, a sparkling water with a cucumber in it. I don't know what you're going to do, but think of that thing you're going to do or that series of things that you're going to do to make sure that every patient has an exceptional experience. From there, you want to get comfortable and confident asking for the review. Here's another little tip that you might not hear anywhere else. You're not supposed to gift people things or barter for reviews, but you can ask for a review. And when the patient says yes, you can give them something to thank them for their review. because they said yes and because you thanked them already, it's pretty much done. And they're more likely to actually write the review than if you were to just say, "Oh, can you leave us a review?" And they say, "Sure thing." And then they forget, they don't have the link. So you want to make it easy for them, and you want to thank them once they say that they will write that review for you. So the gift can be something little. It can be a voucher for a cup of coffee at a local coffee shop. It can be a pop socket for the back of their phone. It can be something under a dollar, under $5, wherever your comfort level is there. But any token of appreciation will go far with your patients. So definitely ask for those reviews and think about how that impacts your marketing as a whole, your reputation that you're looking to build, and your digital footprint. So, going back to who we need to impress Google with your website. We need to impress new patients with your website. So, is your website easy to navigate? Is it fully responsive? Does it look great on all devices? Do the forums work for people to submit their information or get more information, from you? Can they book online? I'm a huge advocate of online booking, mostly because I enjoy it as a consumer. I like the convenience of it. So there's a lot that we can do with this. To impress patients with, especially with a custom designed website. And then third, I talked about there being three people that we need to impress with your website. The third is you. Are you happy with your website? I actually meet a lot of dentists who say, well, it doesn't matter if I like it. Do the patients like it? Does it rank well on Google? And yes, that's kind of true, but you do matter, and your opinion of the website matters. After all, your name and face is on it, and this is the digital representation of the business that you've built and that you've poured so much into. So make sure you love it too, and if you don't, it's okay to invest a little in an update and to get it to the point where you feel like it truly represents your intended reputation or your brand. So once you have that website formulated, you've got your review generation process in the works. You also want to make sure you have very strong SEO and that you're actually moving up on Google. I see far too many marketing agencies selling SEO like it's air. Just sign here on the contract and we'll do the things, and then they don't really do a whole lot for you. It's very, very important that you carefully vet your marketing company. That's why whenever I offer a marketing planning session to prospective clients, I also give them other clients that they can talk to. I'll give them samples of work that we've done. I'm an open book. I actually want you to talk to different marketing companies, see what's out there, have something to compare us to, and feel very, very confident in your decision making process with who you'll work with. But at the end of the day, if someone can get you results, they're not going to need to lock you into an annual contract. They'll just be able to get you to the top of Google. And hopefully, you're smart enough that once someone knows how to get you there, that you're going to stay with them and choose to stay with them so that you can stay there. So, SEO is, even though so many people are claiming that it's dead or it's a ripoff, I have a lot of clients who are very, very happy with the return on investment that comes from an effective SEO campaign. So it's worth it. Do it. If you've done it and it didn't work, get back on the saddle, find someone you can trust that knows what they're doing. Google ads are fantastic as well, very predictable in terms of lead generation. And we can also target specific types of patients. We can target patients interested in dental implants, cosmetic dentistry, looking for someone that they can trust that has a 5-star reputation. So, whatever your brand is, you can actually use Google Ads to highly refine the strategy and to connect with people who are actively searching for you based on very specific keywords. So, when you work with an agency that knows dentistry really well and knows marketing very, very well, they're able to, or we're able to, I don't know about the rest of them, but our team is able to help you meet the right patients when they're at the point where they're ready to find a dentist for a specific problem. And that conversion rate can be very high. Make sure your front office team knows how to convert these leads. I see a lot of practices investing thousands of dollars in marketing. And then as soon as the person at the front office answers the phone. Nope, we don't accept your insurance. Goodbye. And there's very little conversion happening there. So make sure your team is highly trained to be an advocate for these patients, and that your front office team knows that if this patient doesn't choose us, we don't actually know what's going to happen to this patient. Is this patient going to find the help and the care that they need? Or are they going to say, forget about it? If they can't help me, no one can help me. I'll just put it off for another year. So make sure your team understands the importance of getting the patients in, not just for financial reasons, but because you're good people, serving good people, doing the right thing for the community. So make sure everybody's behind your mission. In addition, think about community involvement. Do you have any initiatives that help you to educate your community on the importance of oral health, on the connection between oral health and heart disease and dementia and other health related conditions? For some reason, the general population likes to think that the decay and infection in the oral cavity doesn't affect their health and the rest of their body. And we know that's just not true. So make sure your team really is behind your mission, and make sure you're having a few initiatives that are meant purely to educate. When you educate, like I'm doing today, you actually position yourself in a place of authority and in a place of understanding, and patients will over time respect that authority and choose you when it's time for them to find a new dentist. So feed your community with education. Next, do you have a brand recognition marketing strategy, or are all of your marketing dollars going towards direct conversion type marketing? So SEO is conversion type marketing. The patients who are finding you are calling you. Same thing with Google Ads. They're searching, they're finding you, they're getting to a conversion page, they're seeing retargeting display ads over and over. That piece of it, that last piece of it, that retargeting of display ads, is more about impressions and brand recognition and reputation building than it is always driving a new patient right now. So make sure you get comfortable with brand recognition type marketing strategies, and don't put all of your eggs in the short game. Don't put, I was going to say all of your eggs in one basket, and don't play the short game. And it came out kind of funny. But, anyways, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Don't just play the short game, play the long game. Go for brand recognition, go for authority in your community, and have a multifaceted approach to your marketing if you are in a position where you can afford it, and of course where you know how to measure it. So that's my last tip that I'm going to leave you with here today. Don't just rely on fancy dashboards and tools. Those are things we utilize, things we provide to our clients. But we also want you to rely on your actual new patient numbers. So every month, have a team meeting, look at your numbers, look at your new patient number, and go a step further and look at, how did these patients find us? And how are we going to get more of our ideal new patients by adjusting our marketing strategy and adjusting our marketing dollars? And I do recommend a quarterly strategy session with our team that will help you to make sure that what you signed up for maybe a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, maybe 5 years ago, is still the strategy that's in your best interest today. So make sure your marketing campaign is flexible and allows you to add or detract from the budget, and allows you to put more into what's working the best for you. So if you've listened and you're still with me, thank you so much. I hope you found my information helpful for you today. And if you've marketed before, you've tried different dental specific marketing agencies, or you have I don't know, tried a local company that wasn't dental specific and you didn't have the best experience or get the best results, I would encourage you to set up a complimentary planning session with me. There is no obligation. I am not at all pushy. I just want to give you a snapshot of where you're at, where you could be, and really your next best move in marketing. So thanks for being with me today. My name is Grace Rizza. I'm the CEO of Identity Dental Marketing, and I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.